Our first guest today is Henry Hodge. Henry is President and CEO of HCH Enterprises, located in Providence, Rhode Island. HCH Enterprises provides IT system services and product support. They're also a reseller of Cisco equipment. They're primarily concerned with compliance issues and licensing requirements for their voice-over IP products. Henry, can you tell us a little bit about your business?
Sure. HCH Enterprises primarily focuses on three key areas: the infrastructure, security, and managed networks. We provide a host of IT consulting services, and we also do staff augmentation in anything from software development to just managing the desktop environment. Currently, we're in the process of working for a consultant out, actually a company out of New York City, in a national rollout for Dell computers, which encompasses a lot of the nursing homes or assisted living facilities where we're doing a technology refresh throughout the country. And we go in and we train the technicians locally to those areas, and then they get familiar with the process, in which case we back out. We also are in the process of helping them move computer facilities and equipment for some of their clients. So we'll go in and we'll act as a project management team for that, and that's pretty much where we are right now. We're also a DoD contractor, of course. Being an 8A small business, we're looking forward to doing work with the Navy here in Rhode Island.
Okay. So how did you hear about the 8A 7J Trade Leads Data Matching Program?
Well, our local SBA officer gave us a call towards the end of last year and said, or asked if we would be interested in the 7J program, and I've been very familiar with it, and I've always been looking for the opportunity to get involved with it. And once I was presented with the opportunity, I jumped at it, and I just waited for your call because you told me I would be getting a call from you.
Good. In our initial meeting, we identified some international markets for your services through the International Trade Data Network. How is that information useful in preparing or defining a plan for international expansion?
Well, it helped us to identify the regulatory needs for our services. I mean, being a voice-over IP systems provider, you have to be very aware of the requirements for the other countries. We wanted to focus on the EU, and you had a great staff of assistants that would help us to define our offering and further utilize your database that you've had, the Trade Leads database, I believe, to help identify the customers that were trying to do business internationally, so we can focus on just those and try and streamline our offerings so that they were more targeted towards those.
An international base.
Yep.
Sure. Based on the primary research provided by the ITDN and the consulting services from the Chafee Center, what markets have you identified as potential targets? I know you mentioned the EU, but is there any country specific in the EU that
well,
you're focusing on?
England primarily. We have a resource already there. He used to work for us here in the States, and he's gone back to be with his family, so he's available for us to reach out. And he's done work in as far as India and Saudi Arabia as well, so he's a very good international resource for us. He worked for us here in the financial industry, and now he's over there looking to help us roll out our security and voice-over IP market products.
So that's an ideal scenario for a small company like yours, having an agent already in place on the ground.
Absolutely.
Who probably knows a little bit more about the regulatory environment in the UK. Business practices between the US and the UK are very similar. There aren't that many cultural issues to contend with, and it's an English-speaking base, so can you speak to any specific business scenarios or initiatives that you're working on?
Yeah, primarily we're looking to help reduce the cost of the infrastructure for a company that's looking to do business internationally.
Yeah.
Of course, everybody knows that the communication costs are outrageous. I mean, even with the voice-over IP, sometimes a person or a company can get inundated with the different offerings and solutions that are offered. So what we're doing is we're marketing towards a select group that are trying to, establish like a beachhead for the most part in the UK or England, to be more specific, in which case we can establish the network, and we are very familiar with the regulatory requirements here. Being security specialists, we're very familiar with the requirements from an international standpoint, from a security perspective, but this kind of helps us to focus on a more direct and specific group of resource, or actually customer base.
And those companies are mainly located here in the States with perhaps a satellite offices abroad?
They could be very well located primarily here in the States and trying to do business internationally, or there could be a European company that wants to do business here in the States. I think you early on mentioned a couple by looking at the ITDN, that here are some that were looking for particular products and they wanted us to sell computer products, which of course we could do that, but that's not necessarily something we want to get into from an international standpoint, because there's a lot more involved with that, with products and relocating those types of goods.
So you find that your service-based industry is a better fit for...
Absolutely, and it was kind of difficult trying to figure out how we focus, what do we sell on an international basis?
Right, I remember when you came in, you had so many offerings, and at our second meeting, there was a nice organized packet of information and services.
Right, it helped us to streamline exactly what our offerings were going to be, and we focused on our three key areas, or core areas of expertise, but primarily for our international market, we want to focus on the voice offering, because that works well for the infrastructure for companies that are looking to do business internationally, and companies that are international that want to do business here in the States.
Yep. Besides the International Trade Data Network, how is the Chafee Center differentiated from other assistance centers?
Well, of course, being local resource for us and the region, it allows us to work closely with the people and the organizations and companies that the Chafee Center brings into Rhode Island. That, I believe, is unique for us in the U.S. and a huge asset to the region. The staff understands our business, and they get real familiar with the way that we want to operate and how we expect to do business on an international basis. Linkages to foreign trade offices and other small businesses involved in the international area as well.
And since the Chafee Center does offer training programs and international, as well as we host an annual event called our World Trade Day event, where we can get small businesses together to network and to be educated, and just to mingle with a nice group of associations, companies, government organizations. We can all learn together and
Absolutely.
Try to get more information about international and how to do business in international. Where do you see your business in 1 to 2 years?
Well, a lot better.
Ideally, where would you like to see your business in 1 to 2 years?
From an economical standpoint, a lot better off than we are right now. Our focus, of course, is still is to grow our base here in the States, because that's what we have to do in order to survive as a small business. Looking to do business on an international scale, I believe, when the economy turns around, because it's terrible all over the world right now from an economical standpoint. In fact, our agent on the ground in the UK can't believe how bad it is, and he blames, of course, the U.S., but it's not really that case. It's just all around, just bad. And we're looking to extend and expand our offerings. A year from now, maybe 2 years from now, I think we'll probably be 10 times larger than we are right now, as long as we keep to the ground and focus and use the help of the Chafee Center to grow our business.
Yep. And using some of the building blocks that we put in place to give you some a roadmap to international markets. Well, thank you very much, Henry. It was a pleasure having you here today, and I think that just hearing about your business experiences with the program and the Chafee Center for International Business, this will be very helpful for other small businesses, and we can use this as a model for the future.
Well, great. I look forward to working with you.
Same here.
All right.
Thanks.